Very Little Nightmares is a mobile puzzle horror game that was released in 2019 for Android and iOS. It is set in the Little Nightmares universe, but shows a new location along with a new protagonist. The girl in the yellow raincoat, who isn't 6, was in a hot air balloon that crashed into a giant mansion called the Nest. As she explores the home, she comes across the creepy residents and learns the dark secrets they hide. Since it's a mobile game, controls are different than console. If this was the 90s, it would be called a point and click, but with smartphones, I guess it's a touch and tap. The game is set up in isometric rooms where you tap where you want the girl to go and can tap on things you want her to investigate. Most of the areas have puzzles to solve that require a lot of back and forth. It can be frustrating where she doesn't go exactly where you need her to, but it's generally not a big deal. She comes across gnomes and other children who can help her once you save them. The enemies in this game don't really stalk the areas you explore, they mostly only show up in scripted events. This can be a good thing when you're getting nowhere with a puzzle, but it takes away the survival horror element experienced in the main games. The first enemy to evade is the Craftsman, a creepy long-legged and armed old man who sews dolls together. In a couple areas, he will chase you and you need to run away and keep him from grabbing you. It's pretty tense to run away from him, but it's not too hard. The next enemy is the Butler, and I absolutely despise this guy. Not because he's terrifying, but because of how aggravating he made the game. He is a levitating telekinetic old man with his arms locked behind his back. He is always hunched over, and despite not being able to keep up with you physically, he uses his telekinesis to kill you. Anything nearby he will use to launch at you or crush you with. What is also irritating is that if you're not fast enough, the girl will turn and look at him, causing immediate death. You have to tap the exact spot at the exact time or be killed. My biggest obstacles were because of him. I hate him so much. The final enemy is the owner of the mansion, a little girl known simply as the Pretender. She is about the same size as the other children, but is much more dangerous. Despite being the main antagonist, she only appears for a very short duration towards the end. The story is really interesting, but I wish I had gone into more detail. This is a very short game, since it's for mobile devices, and can be beaten in about an hour if you know what you're doing. There are some collectibles to grab in the form of Jack-in-the-Boxes with Little Nightmares monsters inside of them, but I didn't go back to look for them because I did not want to evade the Butler again. The artwork is very cute and creepy at the same time. The protagonist is a mirror image of 6, so she was cute, but not very different. The only character's design I didn't like was the Pretender's. Her face and jaw shape didn't fit with her age, and it looked like she was an adult trying to be a child. I know it was supposed to be the other way around, but it bothered me. The Craftsman is pretty creepy and reminds me of Kamaji from Spirited Away. The Butler doesn't scare me just because of how much he annoys me. I really liked this story, but I just didn't like the gameplay. It was frustrating, and it was a constant back and forth between the same areas, made more aggravating because of how easy it was to make a mistake. I died at least 50 times, and there were points where I wanted to close it out and just never finish it. I would have rather it focused on sneaking around than just solving puzzles. It was disappointing how little the enemies actually showed up, and the final encounter with the Pretender was very, very short. If this was remade into a full game like the other two, it would be so much better. There's plenty of foundation to work with, and they could expand the nest to be a larger area. They could also do a lot more with the Pretender. There is just so much potential that wasn't realized. It's only $6.99 on the App Store, so buy it if you want to support them, I guess. I won't be playing it again for 100% completion. I'm not ready to break my phone. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment for comments. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon. Feel free to subscribe if you want to support me. My new avatar art was done by my friend Lonnie, and I will put a link to his description in the box below. Yeah, thank you for watching.